Time never waits. It delivers all equally to the same end. You, who wish to safeguard the future, however limited it may be, you will be given 1 year. Go forth without falter, with your heart as your guide. The clock has struck midnight. It is now the dark hour, a time period hidden between one day and the next. Sinister forces abound and mysterious creatures running rampant. You are entrusted with a mission to investigate and unravel the mystery behind the dark hour. With your newfound powers and trustworthy comrades, you are all that stands between an ancient evil that threatens the fate of all life. Once more, let us venture into the harrowing tale and triumphant return of a cult classic. Welcome to Persona 3 Reload. Welcome back everyone. Sorry this took a while, but this video is finally complete. And it was a long time coming. Some of you know that I am a huge fan of Persona 3. I even made a video last year on how much I love Persona 3 Portable prior to the announcement of this remake. Now over a year later, and I got to experience what Persona 3 Reload has to offer. And I must say, it is absolutely worth it. The quality of life improvements, visual overhaul, and added features make the purchase at full price worthwhile. So without further ado, let's break down why Persona 3 Reload is awesome. For players of the prior iterations of Persona 3, Reload is without a doubt a pleasant walk down memory lane. The captivating and emotional storytelling returned in style, rebuilt with an updated engine. Once again, step into the shoes of a transfer student at Gekkoukan High. While seemingly an ordinary student during the day, you will participate in an extraordinary mission at night. Every day as the clock hits midnight, strange events begin to transpire. This phenomenon is known as the Dark Hour. The air feels heavy, people transform into coffins, and the strangest of all is the emergence of a tower atop of Gekkoukan, Tartarus. In the wake of these ominous occurrences, you and a few other students, gifted with the power of the persona, the manifestation of the inner psyche, band together as a group called SEAS, or the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad. While performing your academic and social responsibilities as students during the day, you are also on a mission to investigate the Dark Hour and Tartarus at night. When did it begin? Why are these events happening? What is its purpose? The answers lie at the top of Tartarus, and only you and your allies are humanity's final hope as you slowly ascend to the pinnacle of the mysterious tower. And I will leave the story at that. If you're new to Persona 3, then you are in for a treat, as you get to experience the first time a tale of fanaticism, treachery, and hubris that centers around the meaning of life. And if you are like me who already knows what you're getting into, get ready to re-experience the journey with modern technology and all the explosive nostalgia that comes with it. For fans of the original game, everything you cherish returns in style. The most noticeable of them all is the graphical upgrade. One of the challenges of creating a remake is to strike a balance between having a sense of familiarity with the world and its characters, while also feeling fresh. And I am glad to say that Persona 3 Reload succeeds in this with flying colors. Whether it is dashing through the hallways of Gekkoukan, perusing Polonia Mall, or chilling at the dorm, all the locations you have come to love are back with a fresh coat of paint. The best parts for me though are the overhauled character portraits and slick UI that are now more akin to Persona 5. For those who have never played the original, I cannot overstate how much of an eye candy it is to see these beloved characters redrawn using modern technology. Just when you thought you have seen these characters at their best, Atlus delivers on breathing new life into them with meticulous attention to detail. In the context of the user interface, the best way to describe the evolution from the original game is that it is the small details that create the biggest impact. Especially for those who have played the prior games, the eye-popping menu is clearly inspired from Persona 5. Navigating is now more pleasant while also feeling intuitive. There are also several quality of life improvements which I will discuss later. But the best new transitions Atlus has introduced in this remake are none other than the ones in combat. I think it's better to see for yourself.
All enemies defeated! Good work out there! That about does it! No shadows detected! And that's how it's done! Enemies defeated! Good work out there!
I think it is safe to say that this will be my new standard for combat transitions from Atlus moving forward, as it is simply not possible to go back from this. Character models also receive an upgrade that pay tribute to their design in the previous games, while also receiving makeovers. The varied states of Tartarus also make a return, from its dark and foreboding color palettes to the more vivid themed glimmer of the later stages that makes it a pleasure to explore. Suffice to say that the visuals of Persona 3 Reload will not disappoint for fans of the prior games. I am truly glad that I got to experience the graphical upgrade that this remake has to offer. But that is not all there is to say about this masterpiece. While being iconic for its darker themed story and relatable cast of characters, another aspect comes to mind when Persona 3 is brought to the conversation, and that is of course the audio. All of your favorite soundtracks from the original game have returned and have been remixed, and that was not enough for Atlus. They even went the extra mile and added new tracks.
It's full moon again. Crazy how time flies. When I wonder if the path is in the right direction. But I do believe things come to light by accident. When it remains on, sounds like it's meant to be. Now's the time. Come. This should end it. All right, you won.
Personally though, having played Portable, I prefer the classics.
Her leader's been knocked down. Now's the time. Thank you.
Give him hell.
What to do?
The soundtracks of the original and this remake will always have a place in my music library. That is a no-brainer. But now let us discuss the other component of the audio, the voice acting. While I understand that the original voice actors have set such a high bar, and that it would have been great had they reprised their roles, rather than being replaced or voicing minor characters, I vouch for the new voice actors. To me, they did a phenomenal job, and clearly tuned in to what came before to pay respect to the source material. Are the new voice actors as good as the originals? No, but they come at a very, very close second place, which for me is all I can ask for. Again, don't take my word for it, just listen.
You know, it's almost summer break.
Oh yeah, it is, huh?
Does anyone have any plans?
I wish I could go to the beach. Hot sand, cool breeze, babes in bikinis. Man, a break like that sure would be nice. Somewhere in the south, where the water is crystal clear. But starting tomorrow, we gotta get through our exams. Oh man, this sucks.
You mean keep believing? You really are something else. Sorry for acting like this. I know you've lost your parents too. I'll be alright. I'm used to dealing with stressful situations. Anyway, thanks for listening. Let me guess. Senpai asked you to bring me back, right? Aren't you a smooth talker? Thanks, though.
The new VAs did a remarkable job, and I hope I get to experience more of their talent in future games. Now for the most critical component of any game, the gameplay. Fundamentally speaking, the core components of Persona 3 Reload remain the same from that of the prior games. But make no mistake, Atlus was not simply content with visually upgrading the game. There are plenty of new features to unpack, so let's break it down. For players of the previous games, Persona 3 Reload comes with all the quality of life improvements that have been introduced over the years, ever since the release of Portable. For the benefit of newcomers to the franchise, Persona 3 Reload is a turn-based combat game that also features social sim elements mixed into the gameplay. During the day, you play the role of a student where you perform various activities such as studying and hanging out with your classmates and peers in campus, as well as forge relationships with people around the city. Whether it is dining at a restaurant, reviewing for exams, visiting shops and noteworthy locations, your objective is to strengthen your social links with the characters you encounter in the game. In Persona 3 Reload, new activities in the dorm have been added, such as gardening, where you can use the harvest as items in combat, interacting with party members, and group studies when exams are approaching, all featuring fully voiced acted conversations between your party members never before seen in the prior games. Not only will these provide you with perks in combat, but reward you with grounded, relatable stories and struggles that will send you on an emotional roller coaster ride on top of the main story. Apart from social links, you will also need to raise your social stats, which are your charm, courage, and academics. Increasing these stats will provide you with various perks and unlockables throughout the game. And to achieve that, you may perform activities such as studying, eating, working, and sometimes by interacting with the various characters. To say that the game is jam-packed with content is quite the understatement. In Persona 3 Reload, it is now much easier to navigate, track, and manage your social links and stats, thanks to a long overdue UI upgrade. You can now use your phone to see who is available to interact with and what activities are open for the day, rather than having to track these manually previously. They also now have an icon on top of their heads as you explore to easily identify if they are available to interact with. And the best of all is that you can now fast travel to them should you wish. Early on, you will encounter a character named Elizabeth who will provide you with requests throughout the game. In the older games, these requests can be quite tedious to complete, as you can only do them 2 at a time, and sometimes you will have no idea how to accomplish them. This has been rectified in Reload, as you can now accept all of Elizabeth's available requests in one go, rather than going back and forth. Not to mention, in quests where she asks you to find particular items is now much easier, as markers have now been placed to easily spot them rather than guessing where to search or researching for the answers. For newcomers to the franchise, or you have never played the prior iterations of Persona 3, this may not seem like a big deal, but I cannot overstate how badly these quality of life features are needed, and I'm glad that Atlus implemented them seamlessly into Reload. And those are only the non-combat features of Persona 3 Reload. Now let us go in-depth to the refined combat system. For hardcore players, I strongly recommend jumping straight into merciless difficulty, as the new features introduced in this remake absolutely make the game significantly easier compared to the prior games. Again, as an introduction for those unaware, Persona 3 Reload is a turn-based combat role-playing game that places emphasis on discovering and exploiting enemy weaknesses to achieve victory. The simplest way to describe this is think of a traditional Pokemon game, but you control 4 of them simultaneously. But contrary to Pokemon, you most likely do not know the weakness of your opponent, so you'll need to try out various types of attacks until you discover the attack type that they are weak against. And when you do, that is when the combat begins to hook you in. When you discover an opponent's weakness and attack with it, you will stun them, giving you an additional turn. Upon successfully stunning all opponents at once, and provided the main character and at least one party member are free from status effects, you can pull off a flashy lethal move called an all-out attack.
The enemy's down. Let's finish this.
Be aware though that the enemy can also exploit your weakness and stun you. also giving them an additional turn. And that is the basic fundamentals of combat. More advanced tactics will be utilized later in the game, such as buffs, debuffs, and status effects. But that is essentially the summary of combat in Persona 3 Reload. Now, let us break down the new combat features introduced in Reload. First of all is a borrowed mechanic from Persona 5 Royal's Baton Pass called Shift. Upon stunning an opponent in battle, you will be able to pass on your additional free turn to another party member. This can prove to be beneficial should the current character's turn not have the attack type you need to further stun your foes. So instead of being forced to use the current character, why not pass the turn to another character that has the attack type you need to perform an all-out attack?
Alright, the enemy's down!
Ready to roll! Two pays, that's the best! What's the plan?
Enemy down! Keep that up, Iori! I can handle it!
Go for it!
Yeah, leave it to me!
Pull the trigger.
Help me!
Nice one!
I hope you're ready! Here we go!
This feature is not available in the prior games and definitely makes battles much easier, as players now have access to more strategies that were not possible previously. The second major addition to combat in Reload are flashy abilities for each member of your party called theurgies. On top of your HP and SP, there is now a third gauge that gradually fills up in combat that upon reaching 100%, the character will have a special ability to unleash, usually attacks dealing great damage or a great way to turn the tables if you're in a tough spot.
Bring it on! Eat this! And take...
Freeze! Stay where you are! That about does it.
It's over.
Again, this gives players a major advantage that was not available in the previous games, making it significantly easier to fight opponents. If you would like to go hardcore, you may opt to not use theurgies should you wish. Lastly, while not really an added feature, but rather a change in combat, is the card reward system upon winning in battle. Previously, these cards that offer rewards to players at the end of battle, such as experience, money, persona, and so on, were only available for viewing for a brief period. The cards would then be concealed and shuffled, encouraging players to stay sharp to be able to pick up the rewards they want the most. In Reload, this has been scrapped, and instead all the rewards available are visible from the get-go, and it is left for players to pick which one they would like to choose. That is why I mentioned earlier that for hardcore players, I highly encourage you to play Persona 3 Reload on the harder difficulties, as the new features in combat make the game significantly easier. Arguably, maybe too easy. I also want to elaborate that thank goodness that they added a confirmation button to guard or escape in battle. I lost count how many times I accidentally hit guard or escape in Persona 3 Portable. So thank goodness for that added quality of life feature. While combat has many added features in this remake, exploration has also received the same attention and care. In terms of exploration, and as I said at the start of the video, the goal is to slowly make your way to the top of Tartarus, so exploration is a matter of ascending floors while combating foes. To start, Persona 3 Reload no longer requires you to perform stamina management of your party members. They will no longer get tired or underperform should you decide to stay in Tartarus for a while. Another feature that makes playing the game less tedious. You also now pick up a commodity known as Twilight Fragments. Twilight Fragments provide perks as you explore Tartarus, such as fully healing your party, which was done through paying money in the previous games, and unlocking rare chests. Another new feature for exploration in Reload is the Great Clock. As the name implies, you will encounter giant clocks that offer a huge perk. Great Clocks level up 2 party members of your choosing to the same level as your main character. It matches the level of the main character because you will always use the main character and you cannot remove him from the party while you shuffle your party members to level them all up or to better manage your SP pool while exploring Tartarus. This will inevitably result in the main character having the highest level in the team, hence why Great Clocks function the way they do. In short, Great Clocks level up your party faster, further reducing the difficulty compared to the prior games. The monad system has also been changed in Reload. Instead of the monad depths structured as late to post-game content in Persona 3 Portable, here it is now scattered throughout Tartarus and split into called monad doors and monad passages. Monad doors are special gateways that give you access to fight tougher shadows that reward you with great loot should you beat them. Monad passages are found at the end of each phase of Tartarus, which compose of 2 to 3 series of battles that yield even greater rewards. Both monad doors and passages have special requirements, such as having a particular persona type or having to have beaten a prior passage to access. Suffice to say, the new monad system is spaced better in my opinion, and help players even further with its perks and reward system. There are many more features in Persona 3 Reload that make the game significantly easier. I leave it to you to discover it yourself, to mitigate spoilers, and to not make this video too long. There is one last thing I would like to talk about. While nothing new for Reload, is a feature I need to talk about for newcomers to Persona games, and that is the Velvet Room. Think of the Velvet Room as like a Pokédex, but better. Instead of just storing information about Persona, you may also combine the Persona you have collected to create more powerful Persona. The goal, especially in the early game, is to be able to secure all attack types for your main character's Personas. This way, you'll be able to easily exploit all types of enemy weaknesses. It is also ideal for the main character to have all abilities such as to heal and revive, and also provide buffs and debuffs. This is because if the main character dies in battle, it is game over even if other party members are still alive. So yes, preferential treatment should be provided to the main character. And that concludes all the integral components of the game. Persona 3 Reload is an amazing remake of the much revered classic title. The visuals have been rebuilt from the ground up to breathe new life to the world, the story, and its characters. The storytelling and the central theme of the meaning of life remain superb. It is a lesson that I will always hold dear to my heart. The audio is top-notch with the remixed and new soundtracks. The talent of the voice actors is nothing short of remarkable. Both combat and non-combat gameplay have been refined, opening it up to a new audience. Persona 3 Reload is absolutely worth playing at full price, let alone on Game Pass. Persona 3 Reload is a love letter for fans of the original game, and I am glad that a new generation of gamers will get to experience this masterpiece. The Persona 4 remake can't come soon enough. And that concludes this video. If you're still here, thank you very much, and do consider subscribing if you have not already, as I love making these videos covering JRPGs. Take care, happy JRPG gaming, and I hope to see you in the next video.
What matters at the end is how you left them all. Fire in my soul, fire in my heart, till you see me on the other side of stars.